Namaste everybody, I'm David Breen from Sharing Yoga and RealLiveYoga.com. How about that eclipse today, huh? What a disappointment. I was all set to go and kept on trying not to look up into the sun, but I had my camera and I just kept taking pictures and looked at it on that. Didn't seem much different than any other sunny day to me. I guess you had to be in South Carolina or someplace like that. So, welcome to the practice tonight. You can see that we're outdoors. So we're going to be doing some more and more live streaming yoga classes outdoors. So this is, we've done it a couple times, but not a lot, but we'll have a lot more of them right now. It's, I don't know, 80 or 90 degrees out. The sun is just setting, and you might hear some birds, you might see some deer in the background, who knows. Occasionally there's some wasps and hornets around, and we'll see what happens. So let's just let's take a minute and get centered. Let's take a minute and get centered. So come to a comfortable seat and close your eyes. Sit up nice and tall, and take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, relax. And again, long, slow inhale, followed by a long, slow exhale. And again, long, slow inhale, and a long, slow exhale. Think about how your body feels today. Notice your breath, and notice the breath as it flows smoothly and comfortably in and out of your body. And go ahead and take one more deep breath in. Hold that breath inside your body for a few seconds. And then exhale slowly and relax. So go ahead and blink your eyes open. If you've got a block and a strap nearby, you can keep that handy, that strap. You can keep that handy, and that you can keep that block handy too, just in case we need it. But we're going to begin on the hands and knees today. So go ahead and come over onto your hands and knees, and we'll begin with some cat and cow stretches here. So wrists are right underneath the shoulders, and knees are right underneath the hips. Connecting movement, breath, inhale, look up, drop the belly down, and exhale, drop the head and round your back. Inhale, look up, belly comes down. Exhale, drop the head and round the back. Inhale, look up and belly comes down. Exhale, drop the head and round the back. Now continue to move through this at your own pace. Your movement that you're initiating in your body matches your inhales and your exhales. Moving the spine in two different directions here. And also stretching and warming up some of the muscles around the spine and in the entire back. And the reason we connect the movement with the breath is that brings your awareness, your attention, into the present moment. Otherwise known as mindfulness, right? We need to pay attention to the movements that we're initiating in the body and how we're connecting them with each inhale, 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 and each exhale, exhale, exhale. There's very little room to think about other things when we're doing this. Now come back to a neutral spine. I'd like you to come into child's pose and relax for a moment. And then we'll come up onto the hands and knees. Get back up onto the hands and knees. We'll work with cat and cow again, but we'll hold it in each of those positions for a number of breaths. So take a breath in here. as you exhale, drop your head, tuck your chin towards your chest, and round your back. So stay in this position, but continue to breathe. Then come back to neutral. And then inhale, look up, drop the belly down. We'll stay in this position and continue to breathe. So we're holding the position, but working with the breath. Try to experience or be mindful of what happens when you take the deep breaths in and out. We're staying in this one position here. Where do you feel it? And what do you feel happening in your body? And then again, into that exhale position. Arms are locked out straight, and you're pushing the top part of the back toward the ceiling, or the sky in this case, tucking the chin toward the chest and maybe engaging the abdominal muscles, but breathing through it. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Inhale, look forward and up. Come into this other position. Hold, but don't hold your breath. Breathe through it. Feel the breath moving deep into the body. And then back to a neutral spine. Right back into child's pose and relax. And then we'll come back up onto the hands and knees. So now what I'd like you to do is keep your hands right where they are. Move your knees back about 6 or 8 more inches. And then shift the shoulders forward so they're right over the wrist. I don't want you to come any further forward like this. That's coming up in a little bit. But right now the shoulders are over the wrist. Drop your chin towards your chest and round your back again and engage your abdominals. And then I'd like you to move back and forth like this. Now you won't get all the way back into child's pose because your knees are too far back, and that's what we're looking for. And you'll keep your back rounded the entire time. And then you can connect it with the breath. Inhale, coming forward. No further forward than this. Exhale, moving back. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, moving back. Squeeze out a couple more. Next time you get almost all the way back into child's pose, pause there. Chin is tucked toward the chest, back is rounded, hands are flat on the floor. You're pushing yourself back gently, and then finally walk the hands back and come into child's pose and relax. And then back up onto the hands and knees. Now from here, you've got to be careful. You've got to be careful of those wasps. The problem is that once you get bitten a couple of times by the wasp, you're not afraid of them anymore. And then you want to come forward, forward, forward. Keep the elbows bent into a gentle upward facing dog. Good. Look up. Press down to the heels of the hands. And then move back toward child's pose, but again, we're just moving back toward it, not into it. And then come up, shift the hips and pelvis forward. And then back a little bit. And then forward into upward facing dog. And we'll pause here. Tighten up the glutes. Maybe arch the back a little bit more. And then we'll come to hands and knees, point the toes down into the floor, and come up and back into downward facing dog next. And when you get here, feel free to bend your knees one at a time to stretch out the opposite leg. So bend your right knee, straighten out your left leg, and allow that left heel to relax toward the floor. And then switch. Right leg is straight, left knee bends. Right heel relaxes toward the floor. And then we'll switch it up again. And then we'll switch it up again. And then you're going to bend your knees and look forward. And you're going to move forward into a high push-up. tighten up your thighs and your glutes, and then lower all the way down. Point the toes back toward the wall behind you. Inhale, press up, upward facing dog or cobra. Tighten the glutes. And to hands and knees, and right into downward facing dog again. When you get to downward facing dog this time, just pause, focus on your breath, allow your heels to relax toward the floor, and press your hips back just a little bit more. And then look forward, move forward into plank pose again. Tighten up the thighs and the belly, lower down. Inhale, press up. And then to hands and knees, and right into downward facing dog again. This time in down dog, tuck your chin towards your chest and then straighten your legs and try to engage your thigh muscles. Now bend your knees and look forward. Begin to walk the feet forward. Set the feet about hip width apart. Grab onto opposite arms. Relax the head and relax into the forward bend here. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And release the arms. Come rolling up to standing. Arms alongside the body. Go ahead and close the eyes. Concentrate on your breath for a moment. And then open the eyes up. Feet close together now. Arms come up overhead, interlace the fingers. Tighten up your thighs. Keep your legs locked out straight and lean over to the right hand side for a side stretch. And breathe deep as you try to make yourself long, right? Legs are straight, feet are pressing into the floor, both arms are lengthening in the opposite direction. Back to center. Stay nice and long. Over toward the left hand side now. Back to center. Good. And then release the arms. Now separate your feet about a foot apart. Bring the left arm up. Firm up the thighs. Shift the hips to the left and lean over to the right hand side. Keep the legs straight as you come into the side stretch here. Breathing deep and trying to direct the deep breathing into the left side of the rib cage. And then coming up and switching sides. Legs are straight, hips are shifting to the right. The right arm is leaning over toward the left, so we're doing a side stretch over toward the left-hand side. Now we're directing our breath into the right side of the rib cage here. And then we're going to come up and release. Good. Separating the feet even further apart now. Really wide apart. Have the feet parallel so that the toes are pointing straight ahead or actually in toward each other. Left arm comes out to the left-hand side, palm face up. Firm up your thighs. Press down into the soles of the feet, and then right hand slides down and left arm comes up and over. Good. So actively press down into both of those feet, and then stretch through the entire left-hand side of the body. And breathe deep. Inhale, come up. Exhale, switch sides. Right arm comes up and over, and you'll lean over toward the left-hand side. I'm going to get bit by a wasp live streaming a yoga class here tonight, maybe. And we'll come back and release. Now, take your right toes only and turn them toward the short end of your mat, or this way. Arms come up parallel to the floor. Inhale. As you exhale, drop the right hand out and down onto the right shin, and the left finger straight up. So here, we focus on the foundation of the pose. Remember, legs are straight, thighs are engaged, and you're using the power and strength of your thigh muscles to press down into the soles of the feet so the upper body moves up away from the floor, right? Watch what happens when I press down to the soles of the feet. a little bit of lift, a little bit of elevation. That's what we're looking for. And then we'll come up, bend into the right knee now, and come into Warrior Two. Place your right knee directly over your right ankle, no further. Palms face up. Check the back arm. Check the front arm. Tighten up the left thigh and breathe. Inhale. Straighten that right leg again. Right hand comes out and down onto the right shin. Left fingers come up. This time we'll take extended triangle pose a little bit deeper. We'll supercharge it a little bit. So thighs are active. You're pressing down into the soles of the feet. Without moving your feet, attempt to drag your left foot away from your right heel as if you were trying to stretch your mat out lengthwise. Breathe deep into it. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands to the hips. Pivot the feet in the opposite direction. Legs are straight, arms come up. Inhale. Exhale, left hand comes out and down, right arm comes up. So maybe I neglected to mention, but there's a disclaimer that goes along with the classes here, that the poses that we're doing are done in a very particular order. So if you do the poses out of order, or you're doing some different stuff, then we assume absolutely no responsibility for the consequences of that. You want to follow along with what we're doing. So if you're still sitting on the couch, you want to get up off the couch and rewind the tape, as long as you're not watching it live stream, and start from the beginning again. And then we're going to come up into Warrior Two, knee over the ankle, arms outstretched, palms face up, and breathe. Check the back arm, check the front arm. Begin to engage the right thigh now, that right leg active. Inhale, straighten the left leg. Left hand comes out and down again onto the left shin, right fingers up into extended triangle. This time we take it a little bit deeper. Remember, thighs are active, feet are pressing down into your mat. Without moving your feet, you're going to attempt to gently drag your right foot away from your left heel as if you were trying to stretch the yoga mat out lengthwise. And inhale, come up. Exhale, grab onto opposite arms. Make the feet parallel again. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, begin to fold forward and down. Relax the arms, relax the head. Bring your hands back to your hips. Inhale, come up. And exhale here. Good. You don't know how close this wasp is. There's a wasp nest about 12 inches away from my yoga mat underneath this deck. Now, we're going to take extended side angle next. So, turn the right toes toward the end of the mat again. Left toes turn toward the side of the mat, but not backwards. Come on, buddy. Bend the right knee. Right forearm on the right knee and thigh. Right palm face up. Draw the left shoulder back. Extend the left arm up and over. So you remember all the cues here from extended side angle because you've been watching these shows over and over and over again. In this case, in this pose, left thigh's engaged. You're bending into the right knee at the same time, thinking where you feel that resistance in your body. Keep the left thigh engaged. Stretch the left fingers a little bit more. And then take it a little bit further. Take the right forearm and press it down into the right knee and thigh, and press the right knee and thigh back up into the right forearm with the same amount of effort. Now come back to your breath. Inhale, come up. And exhale here. Now, pivot the feet the opposite direction. Before you come into the pose, double check the right toes. There's a habit of pointing those right toes backwards, but you want to point them right here to the side. And then you'll bend into the left knee, forearm on the knee and thigh, left palm faces up, draw the right shoulder back, and then the right arm up and over. So now we're in the pose. Let's explore the pose a little bit deeper like we did on the other side. Right thigh's engaged, bend into the left knee. Keep the right thigh engaged, stretch the right fingers a little bit more. And then gently press the left forearm down into the left knee, press the left knee up into the left forearm, same amount of effort. Inhale, Inhale, inhale. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Inhale, come up to standing. Exhale, hands to the hips. Now, make the feet parallel again. Keep the hands on the hips this time. Squeeze the shoulder blades toward each other. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, fold forward with a flat back and straight legs. Keep drawing the shoulder blades toward each other, and then perhaps shift a little weight of the hips forward into the balls of the feet a little bit more. Inhale, come up. And exhale here. And shake out your hands. Pop the feet back together. Relax the arms. Close the eyes and go inside. Focus on your breath. And then slowly open the eyes. Now, we'll work with Warrior One a little bit and some postures out of Warrior One. So we'll turn to the short end of our mat. Step your right foot back a little bit and then bend your left knee. So those back toes now are turned forward about halfway. And again, the left knee is directly over the left ankle. Arms come up overhead. You'll interlace the fingers, separate the wrists, and breathe. So I begin with the foundation of the pose again. The right thigh's engaged. I'm bending into the left knee. Now see, I can bend quite a bit into the left knee, which means I'm gaining a little bit more flexibility here. So I'm actually going to step my left foot, my front foot out a little bit more. As long as I can keep both those feet flat and keep that thigh engaged, I'm in good shape here. And then I'm going to come into revolved triangle. So I'm going to grab my block, place it to the inside of the left leg, and I'm going to straighten the left leg, place the right hand on the block, and then begin to twist and turn the torso toward the left. You can leave your left hand on your left hip if you've got some issues with your left shoulder, or you can begin to stretch the left fingers straight up. And then I'm going to release and bend into the knee and come back up into Warrior One. Right thigh's engaged, hips are turning forward little by little. And then I'm going to bring the arms around back and grab onto opposite forearms. Straighten the front leg again, and then ease yourself out over that left leg and look right down at the left foot. Inhale deeply. Exhale complete. And release the arms. Bring the arms back up overhead, back into Warrior One more time. So as you press that right foot into the floor and engage the right thigh, press the knuckles up toward the ceiling. Bring that stretch right up through the body. And take a deep inhale. Exhale, release and step forward. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Now, step the other leg back, left foot in this case. It's at a 45-degree angle or so. Bend into the right knee. Arms come up, interlace the fingers. And now we're in Warrior One on the opposite side. So again, if this knee keeps bending more and more forward, I'll just separate the feet a little bit further apart. Engaging the left thigh, keeping that left foot nice and flat. Gently the hips are turning toward the direction that the right toes are pointed toward the front of your mat, for instance. And inhale, begin to straighten that right leg. Take the left hand down onto your block. Once both legs are straight, begin to twist and turn the torso toward the right, and maybe stretch the right fingers up and breathe. And then inhale and come back up into Warrior One, interlacing your fingers. arms around back. Grab onto opposite arms. Straighten that right leg again 100%. Firm up your thighs and ease yourself out over the right leg little by little. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale, come back up. Press the left foot into the floor, engage the left thigh. Press the knuckles up. Feel that stretch all the way up through the entire body. Deep inhale. Exhale, step forward and release. Set the feet hip width. Close the eyes. Concentrate on your breath. Did a whole bunch of balance poses the last 2 weeks in the live stream class, so I'm going to skip the balance poses tonight. If you're looking for some balance poses, just go to the 2 previous episodes from this, last week and the week before. There's a ton of standing balance poses in there that will keep you busy for a while. So next up, what I'd like to do is have you come down onto the floor, and we're going to work with Baddha Konasana next, bound angle pose. So the soles of the feet come together and grab a hold of your ankles or grab a hold of your feet and try to interlace the fingers on the outside edge of the feet here, and then pull heels in as close as you can comfortably. Now, right now I'm slouching and relaxing and my back is rounding, but little by little over the course of the next couple of breaths, I want to begin to lengthen through the upper body, right? So the sit bones or my butt is pressing into the floor, and I'm using my hands against the feet to pull the upper body up and then pull it forward. So I'm sitting up as tall as I can, and then there's a little bit of a tension now where the knees are moving toward the floor, and at some point they're just not going to go any further, and that you just stop right at that point. You don't want to force anything, right? If you want to force yourself to do anything, force yourself to do yoga. That's it. Just show up. Just show up, and yoga will meet you where you're at. Just do the practice over and over and over again. Now from here, I'm going to lean forward. It's okay to round your back and bend your elbows so that now at some point the arms are touching the inside of the legs. And instead of pressing the knees down toward the floor, I'd like you to try doing the opposite. Press the knees up, away from the floor, into the arms, and then press the arms back down into the legs with the same amount of effort. Now breathe. Hold the pose, but bring the arms away from the legs. Sit up a little bit taller again. Press the soles of the feet into each other now, and press the knees back down toward the floor. Nice and easy, and breathe deep. And then release. Shake the legs out a little bit. We're going to turn sideways, and then here's a little bit of a trick. We've got a few extra minutes here, so if you've got a belt like this, you want to have a loop in the end of the belt. If you don't have a belt like this, then you should get one, because I use them quite often in my practice and in my live stream classes. Put the belt over your feet, slide it up your legs so it's just above your knees on the lower part of the thighs. And then you just tighten it up, not so it's wicked tight, but just so it's moderately tight. And then we'll work into boat pose, right? So there's a number of different variations of boat pose. This one, we've got the knees so they're pretty close together, so the knees aren't going to splay apart. And we'll just begin with the fingertips here on the floor, and we'll float the legs up off the ground. And you can play with the weight of the upper body, bringing it forward and back, and the placement of the hands. And then point the toes forward. Try to arch your back, and now breathe. And then release the feet. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Now we'll bring the arms up
parallel to the floor here. Try to arch the back a little bit and then float the feet up off the ground again. Keep trying to arch the back, activate the arms, point the toes forward, and breathe. And release. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Now one more. Arms come up. Bring the hands together this time. Arch the back, bring the feet up, point the toes. Press the hands together and breathe. And release. Now loosen up the belt. Go ahead and take that right off of there. Shake your legs out a little bit. And then take the sole of the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Arms come up overhead, inhale. And as you exhale today, bring the hands together into the church steeple and point the fingers toward the toes. Sit up nice and tall. Keep the left leg locked out straight and keep the left thigh active. Left toes point up toward the sky. As you deepen your breath here, feel free to hinge at the hips a little bit more. Inhale the arms back up overhead. Exhale the palms down through heart center. And now lift up your right knee. Cross your right ankle just over your left knee so that the left knee and the right ankle are side by side. Pull yourself forward with your left arm. Bring your right hand out back. Press the right hand down. Inhale, sit up. Exhale, twist and turn and look toward the right hand side. Back to center, unwind. Right leg straight, left foot comes in. Arms come up, inhale and lift. And as you exhale, make the church steeple and come out over that right leg. So the fingers will point right toward the right toes. Right toes point up toward the ceiling. Right thigh is engaged. And then you come into your breath. Inhale the arms back up. Exhale the palms down through the heart center. And then we're going to pick up that left knee, cross the left ankle over the right knee. Pull yourself forward. And left hand comes out back. Inhale, sit up. Exhale, twist and turn and look toward the left hand side. And then we'll release back to center. Now we'll take a forward bend with both legs straight. So you can do it two ways. You can sit up tall like this, toes point toward the ceiling. Arms come up, interlace the fingers into the church steeple. Point the fingers toward the toes. Inhale, press down into your seat, and as you exhale, hinge forward at the hips. So thighs stay active. That's going to stretch the back of the legs. And then as you ease yourself forward little by little, you want to keep the abdominals tight. So there's this version. If your arms are long enough where you can grab your feet, you can go ahead and grab the sides of the feet like this. Next version would be to take the strap, keep the thighs engaged, keep the abdominals engaged and hinge at the hips, and you'll get a little bit more leverage here. And take the stretch a little bit deeper into some of those lower back muscles. shake the legs out a little bit. Now, with the feet still together, you're going to bring your hands 12 inches behind your hips, just like this. And then before you come up into inclined plank, Purple Tanasana, you're going to keep the elbows bent. That's going to take tension or keep tension out of the wrist. So a little bend in the elbows. You don't want to lock the arms out straight. And then squeeze your shoulder blades toward each other. So once I've got the shoulder blades squeezed, I start to arch the back. I have the elbows bent a little bit. And then I'm going to press down into the heels and try to lift the hips up off the ground and breathe. And then release down. Ease yourself forward. Come to seated and slowly bring the arms back and forth like this. Shake out the arms. So next we're going to come down onto the back. If you've got a strap, again with a loop in it, go ahead and loop your right foot and ease yourself down onto the back. Like this, and you'll pick the right leg up, and you'll keep both legs straight. So you're pressing out through both heels, and then little by little, you're drawing that straight right leg toward the upper body here. So you pick your head up and look. If this right knee has a bend in it, bring the right leg further away from the torso, straighten it out, and keep it right there. After every couple of breaths, you might be able to draw it closer, but we'll keep both legs straight. And then we're going to switch feet. So left foot comes into the loop, right leg down, both legs straight, keep both legs straight, and then little by little, as you get deeper and deeper into the breathing, little by little you bring that straight leg, the one that's up overhead, a little bit closer. And then go ahead and release. Now bend your knees and place your feet flat on the floor. Take your right ankle just above your left knee like this. Pick your head and shoulders up, and then try to lift the left leg up and interlace behind the left knee and thigh, and allow the left foot to relax down toward the floor, and then head and shoulders come back down here. If your head and shoulders don't make it back down toward the floor comfortably, you just put your little magic block right underneath your head like that. Let everything relax. Perhaps shift your left thigh to the left a little bit, and then gently draw the left thigh in. And then go ahead and release, and we'll switch sides. Left ankle just above the right knee, interlace behind the right knee and thigh. Right foot relaxes down. going to release. So find a comfortable position on your back. Lie on your back. If you need to put something underneath your head and neck or underneath your knees, feel free to do that. Allow your body to begin to relax into the floor. Let go of your breath. Allow your breath to return to normal breathing pattern. Shivaya Gurave Namah Shivaya Gurave Namah Shivaya Gurave Namah Shivaya Gurave. Namah Shivaya Gurave Namah Shivaya Gurave Namah Shivaya Gurave Namah Shivaya Gurave. Go ahead and begin to deepen your breath. Bring some movement back into your hands and feet. Begin to bend your elbows and knees and stretch the arms and legs out. And as you're ready, roll over onto one side. And then go ahead and make your way up to seated, like where you began our practice today. Sitting up nice and tall with the eyes closed, and take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, relax. again, notice how your body feels. Notice the breath as it flows in and out of your body, smoothly and comfortably. And take a deep inhale. Exhale, relax, and blink your eyes open. Bring your hands together at your heart center, and we'll say namaste, namaste, namaste. I'm David Breen from SharingYoga and RealLiveYoga.com. It's been my pleasure to share yoga practice with you today and every day. So stay tuned for more on-location yoga classes like this one, right? We brought it out of the living room onto the deck. In a couple of months, we're going to put it on a plane and be bringing you some classes from some very distant destinations. Peace out and see you next time.